Will you ever know? Cause you don't know my name. Yo, so what up to everybody? And all right, so start a conversation. You guys like conversations more than music, so let's start a conversation. So the young lady, the young lady I was talking to earlier on Facebook a few minutes ago, she gave a scenario of, is it okay if you're dating a man, but the man is, out doing his own thing, but he's still having sex with you, and he's possibly having sex with others. Can a woman go out and do it too? Yeah, you can. 100%. Is it wise? No. Listen, women, you're not men. I mean, if you look at the animal kingdom, you'll notice that a lot of times the male goes out and has multiple females. If you look at the animal kingdom, you'll notice that there are more women than there are men. And even in some, now this is really something, because when I was in college, I had learned that there were some tribes that actually had females that had multiple men as their, suitors. And even in the Bible, it talks about how if a brother dies, then the brother takes the wife as his wife now. But in that case, in the Bible, they're still talking about a one-on-one relationship. In the Bible, it says the body is not made for fornication. So just because a guy is out there doing that just doesn't mean that it's right. I'm telling you to protect yourself. Ladies, that's what I'm telling you. You're not a man. Don't go out there and get your emotions wrapped up into trying to be like a man. And then she was talking about how men can't handle it and we'll call the woman a hoe. Well, listen, being a hoe goes both ways. If a man is out there just willy-nilly in it, just sleeping around, well, he's hoeing. That's what he's doing. So if you go out and do the same thing, you should expect the same energy to come back to you. Everybody, who's gonna know. We're all smashing the same woman. You know what I'm saying? But women, your reality should not be wrapped up in the try to match a man's reality. That's just bad business. That all the way around, you're not built the same. Your purpose on this planet is not the same. One is to nurture, the other one is to spread the seed. So don't get that twisted. You're going to run into more hurt than he will in the end. And some of you who've cut off your emotion, who've cut off your natural ability to nurture and to be sweet and decide you want to be hardcore and you want to be mannish and you want to have the penis, listen, that's between you and whoever you're rocking with. That's completely on you, but that is not your purpose on this planet. It just isn't. And what you're doing is very, very, very unnatural. And eventually it'll catch up to you in one way or another. I'm not going to say that, you're just going to have a bunch of partners and you're going to end up being alone. But I'm saying statistically, that's what happens. And usually you have to uproot yourself and move to another location and try the whole game all over with. But the thing about it is, even though you left the people behind you used to practice that with, the spirit that's in you is still there. That's the thing. A lot of things we do without considering the spirit. We really do. We act like the Bible isn't a real, like it doesn't have real illustrations on the dangers of doing these things. Some women, you get into your 20s and then you hit your 25. You're one of the hottest things on the block. You have all these guys chasing you, jumping in and out of your bed and all this stuff. Next thing you know, you're 30. Okay, you're 30 real fast. You better think about, grabbing a family, or something, because 35, is going to hit you within seconds. and then your ability to actually have a family, is strongly diminished. So that's what I'm saying. It's just not natural for you to keep that lifestyle up. You just don't want to do that. If you're dating someone and they're out there sleeping with other people, if you decide to go ahead and jump in bed with another person, cut one person off. Just listen, protect yourself. I just try to tell women, protect yourself. Stop listening to society and all these mixtures of feelings that people are throwing at you, and all this terrible advice that you're getting off of the radio. Broke guys don't deserve sex and all this other bull crap. I don't cook, I don't clean. The people who you idolize are sending you down a one-way ticket to loneliness. They really, the music is terrible. A lot of the people who you idolize are just horrible. The Kardashians, and there's several divorces and failed marriages, and putting people are pretty much dying around them. I don't. The female body is so important. It is so important. And you listen, guys aren't angels, so I'm not saying that they are. But I'm saying, ladies, your body is so important and so valuable, but if you're looking for validation from the outside world, you're mistaken. The outside world wants to use and abuse you. They just want what they want, then they're just going to leave you. That's it, and that's all. And if you don't believe me, you can just listen to story after story after story of just these females who just went through this whole process, and next thing you know, they're 40 and they're looking back like, what happened all this time? And it's not like somebody took advantage of you, but what they did was they convinced you to do something that was totally out of your feminine character. And you listened to it because there was music, there was dancing, there were stars, there was this, there was that. And you went right along with it instead of listening to a solid logic and way of being that in your mind made good sense. And I don't understand why you women do that. Why do you not listen to common sense? I don't get it. I'm going to read your comment. The answer to your question is no, and no. Right, yes. Yeah, STDs. Yeah. Each other, each person's energy they have slept with. Yeah, listen. I'm going to tell on myself. I like to tell on myself because I don't want you guys to think I'm just talking out the side of my neck. I used to be a hoe. All right? And what I found out, now when I say I used to be a hoe, meaning I had multiple women. And my whole purpose for the majority of them at its zenith was simply to knock them off and send them on their way. And this is because the women I was dealing with did not want me to be their man. They wanted me simply to be, penis in a glass that they need, and then break it, boom. And they would literally have boyfriends and husbands and would come see me. I would meet women at the club, and I'd be like, you got a man? She'd be like, yeah. But, I want to know if we can get it on. And I'd just be like, one time I looked at a woman like that when she said that, she's like, I want to know, if we can. And I just looked at her like, and she saw the look of disgust on my face, and I never heard from her again. Because I couldn't believe it. And she was fine. And yeah, I wanted to sleep with her. But I didn't understand how you had a man. Hold on. Sorry. Sorry, my nose is running. At any rate, so what I didn't understand is how you had a whole man at home with a baby. She had a little girl. And you're out in the club. And she told me, she said, look, we all got some hoe in us. And that basically gave me no hope for any woman ever that I meet. Because she was like, listen, we all got some hoe in us. It is what it is. She was sexy. Her name was Constance. My God, she was beautiful. And she was reminding me of this other woman that I was dealing with. They actually looked alike. So yeah, I was like, oh my God, she comes over to my house, it's gonna be over. But the thing is I noticed that I was getting attached to some of these women who, I mean, that's all that they wanted. You know, I was talking about I love you. And I told this one woman I loved her, and that was it. She wanted nothing to do with me. She tried her best to get away from me. And eventually she did. But she did not want to hear me say I love you. And recently, like this year, I saw one of the women I was dealing with, and I told her, like, I said, I still got love for you. Like, I still love you. She just walked away from me. This is not what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is unnatural to be a hoe. It just is. Like I said, the scriptures say your body is not made for fornication. It's not natural. I mean, you think it's fun, but it's now differently. If you had a woman that had, or if you had a relationship with, 3, 4 women and they were all dedicated to you, that's differently. As far as a man is concerned, but as far as and as far as a woman's concerned, because it's just one person. Now that I can see is more logical, simply because there are more women on the planet than there are men. And let's just face it, these preachers sitting up telling you that, oh, ladies, you're going to be married, your husband's waiting for you. That's not true. I'm just trying to tell you that right now. Deacon Jones is telling you that, or Reverend Smith, or whoever is telling you that. Those are all lies. They're telling you that just so you'll stay there, because the more women that are in the club, the more men that will come there. And that's just it, and that's all. So they can get your ties. So they'll tell you anything that you want to hear, but that is 100% a complete lie. Well, not let me say 100%. It's about 70% a lie. It's not a normal thing to do when you use condoms without knowing that a person has a you may not catch anything, but truth is you still let someone enter your body and have a disease not clean. Yeah, I mean, even besides the diseases, it's just not, like, I still have thoughts of these women that I haven't seen in 12 years. I still remember the first person I slept with. I remember her name. I remember her face. I remember her. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a second. So, ladies, it is not natural for you to go out and sleep with multiple men. Don't listen to society. Don't listen to this music and these videos and all these movies out there telling you it's just okay to have kids. There's no such thing as casual sex. There's nothing casual about it. You may think in your mind that it's casual, but no, there's nothing casual. So many babies have come out of casual sex, and now this child has a mother and father somewhere, and is feeling abandoned, because when they go see a family unit and they see a child that has the mother and the father, and they're wondering why their house it's a broken home. That there's nothing casual about that. It's just not casual. We just had sex and we had a baby. That's completely wrong on every level. It's just wrong. There's nothing casual about sex. It's just not. It is a serious act, and it brings along serious repercussions, even if there's no child. Promiscuous women do not want to hear you love them. They really don't. A lot of them have been taken advantage of while they were young. Well, yeah, I found out that the majority of these women had been taken advantage of, when they were 14 and some a lot younger than that. But it wasn't me. I didn't do it. You know what I mean? And I've even had sessions where I try to figure out not what happened, because they would tell me what happened, but what's happening. Like what's happening to their mental state now when it comes to having a chance at a relationship, because that's the real issue. Like I can't undo what happened to you. I wasn't there. I don't know these people. I can't go after them. I can't justify anything. I can't make it right. But you're here now with a viable partner who is not taking advantage of you, who is actually showing you more care and more love. Like, are you going to go the rest of your life like this, just shooing off possible suitors and then throwing away possible families? Because if you're encroaching upon 30, listen, your system is going to find it harder and harder for you to actually have a family the more years that you throw away good men. The more you keep throwing away good men, the less and less chance of you to actually have a family. And I actually know some women who I've dated who have no children, and they wanted kids. One of them got married. I don't know if she's still married. The other one, I don't think she's not married at all. But they actually threw away every chance they had at having a whole family, like, and being married and having like a whole, children and all this. They tossed it away. And I told one young lady, I said, you better stop what you're doing. Like, you better, like, I know what you're doing. I'm aware of what you're doing. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving. And I left because I'm like, I do not want to be involved in what you're doing. It's just too much. Once I found out what was really happening, I told her, I said, I can't do this anymore. And I left. I got out of there, And so it is not natural. And look, we're all on a time clock because we're all going to be here and then leave. But your clock is ticking constantly. And it only has, from the age of 12, pretty much. From the age of 12 to around 35, that's your window to have children. That's a good amount. But when you look at it legally, you're looking at 18. So you can cut off those 6 years from 12 to 18 legally. We're talking legally. And for you to be marriageable. That's what I mean. So for somebody to come along and marry you, you're looking at 18, ish, 18 to, let's say, 35, where that clock is. Usually when you find an 18-year-old, if she's not thinking seriously about having a whole family, she's just not. But if you go back less than 100 years ago, that's exactly what they were thinking about. Your grandmother probably had your dad or your mom when she was in between 15 and 18. Because that's what they did. You know what I'm saying? My mother had her first child at 18. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that. When you're 15 years old, you're thinking about who you're going to marry. That probably never occurred to the majority of women who are in my age group. They didn't think, oh, I'm 15, now I need to think about marriage. And usually, you were presented with somebody who you could marry. You were presented with some neighborhood boy who was connected to a good family, and their family knew your family, and you kids were the same age, and then they were just like, you two are going to grow up together and be married. Or, if you go back 100 years before that, it would be some older guy, 30-ish, who had land and property or whatever, and the father of the other family had 4 or 5 girls, and he knew this guy, and he was like, I want to be a part of his family, so our family would grow. So he had a 15-year-old. It would be like, Hey, over here. She'll give you lots of children. And then he would, say, okay, fine. And he would marry her. He wouldn't sleep with her. He would marry her, and then they would start having children. That's the way it went. He would marry her. He wouldn't take advantage of her. He wouldn't, all this other stuff that people just think that guys are just so, guys, all they want to know. He would literally, there would be a whole wedding, a ceremony of a whole hood would come together, all families, and they would get married. This kid would not be going, oh my God, that's the way it was. You would marry her, and then they would have children. My nose is really good. Hold on. But they don't do that anymore. Sorry about that. Now, if we go back all the way, if we go back even further than that, then the age drops about another 3 years. It starts at about 12. And then they would be, and I can imagine the majority of that, they weren't too happy in that regard, because it would be, kings would marry princesses. Then they would start at, that age. But they don't do that anymore either. So I'm saying nowadays, the way things are and what we call normal, those 6 years from 12 to 18 have been cut off pretty much on a normal basis. We're not talking about teenage pregnancy. We're talking about marriage. The majority of time from 6 to 18, that female is not going to be married. You know what I mean? It happens, but it's just, it doesn't happen that much to be counted like, oh, okay, this is what we're going to expect. You're going to be married at 16, 17. It just doesn't happen. Because it's not normal to marry your kids off at those ages anymore, like it was before. You know what I'm saying? So now you have these females who hit the age of 12 and they're looking to nest. They're 12 years old. They're looking to nest. Look, I don't care if your daughter's 12, if your niece is 12, if your cousin. I don't care. Look, I delivered a stove to a lady. She had 4 kids. She had one kid who's in the Army, a boy, another teenage boy about 14, a teenage daughter somewhere, and then she had a 12-year-old daughter. And when I delivered it over there, we had conversations, and she was making payments, so I go over there and pick up the money. And one time she made a payment, she was talking about her daughter. She was like, I'm really worried about my daughter because I found out that she was reading a sex book. And she wanted to know how to do the things that she was reading. And she's 12 years old. And I said, well, in my mind, I wasn't alarmed because I'm like, yeah, that's about right. Because even though we've changed, we tried to change what's been happening naturally. We tried to change it. And all these psychologists have come along and saying, hey, this, that, and the other. So you try to change it. Okay, so fine. We have rules that we have to abide by. But the body, like I said, when you exercise, when you go out and you run, and you're running for a year, you're doing 2 miles every other day for a year, and then all of a sudden you stop doing it, your body still wants to do 2 miles a day. That's the way the body is. So when you have all this history of the dowry and being married at a certain age, the reproductive system of a 12-year-old boy and girl, actually, it kicks in. And once they are ready to go, they're ready to go. So even though they still got to abide by today's rules, their body is still, and mind is still thinking, I'm trying to find somewhere to nest. Listen, you can sit down with any 12 and 13-year-old girl and ask her these questions yourself. And I'm telling you, she's looked at some older guy who has a car and a house. And there's a good chance he is in her vicinity somewhere. It could be her teacher. It could be her uncle. It could be it's someone in her close vicinity that she looks up to, and she's looking. Now that doesn't mean she's after him, but she looks at this person as a model figure to have children with. That is a natural thing for her to do. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's been cut off. So you look at them and you say, what you're thinking is wrong. Don't think this way. You cut that thought off. They say, okay, you think this way when you hit 18. That's when you're adult. And then they say, okay, they're agreeing with you, but their body, their hormones are still kicked in. So they're in overdrive. And this is why you have so many teenagers who are pregnant and out of wedlock. That's why you have that. Because the thing that we've been doing for 4,000 years, all of a sudden you tell the body, stop doing it. Instead of course, you're not going to go and marry off your 13-year-old. No, why would somebody do that? Even if it's a 13-year-old boy who's suitable, and you know the family, you're just not going to do that, because if you did, you'd be in the news, and then you'd probably be going to jail, even though both of them are 13. You'd be going to, you know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, this is wrong, yada, yada, yada. But then your argument would be, she's active. She's active. Her and him are active. Okay, and I know that she's going to get it in somewhere. I already know this is going to happen. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Because if she doesn't do it with him, she's going to find somebody else to do it with. What do you want me to do? But like I said, those years have been cut off. So now you have this teenage pregnancy problem. Then you got a runaway problem, because that's what most of the girls do. They run away. You got all this other stuff that comes with it. And you cut that, you tell them in their mind, this is cut off from 12 to 18, you cut that off. So then you have the 18-year-old females, once they're finally out of the house, what do? They don't go and look for marriage. Talk to a 17 and 18-year-old and ask them, are they looking to marry when they're 18? Talk to your nieces, daughters, or even your nephews. Talk to any child that you have in your house and ask them, what do they want to do when they're 18? And the answer will not be married. Why? Because we changed the rules. We changed all that. Naturally, we said, no, when you're 18, you're going to go to college. And that's what they do. So what are we doing now? We're cutting off more of the time that females are able to naturally have a large family. You cut that off again. You say another 3 years, you wait. You're going to go to college. And that's what we're doing right now. Boom. That's another 3 years. So that's 9 years gone that a female can actually comfortably have, if it can be comfortable, but what I'm saying can be more readily, their body can, you know what I'm saying, have children easier, I guess is operative word, than it would be for them to start at 35 or 30 years old. And then after they graduate from college, they get into the workforce, they start looking for a mate in between 21 and 27. That's when they go hard on looking for a mate. Why? Because now they're in the work field. And there are other men in the work field around them who can match their financial stride and are available to them as far as access, meaning they can be in immediate contact with them. However, those men are also being sought after by 7 other women who can all match your stride. They all work near you. They all make as much money as you do, and they all look just as good as you do. What is the chance that he's going to pick you and say, I'll marry you? It's 1 out of 7, and in some cities, it's 1 out of 14. You see what I mean? So let's just say that you don't get picked. You know, now you don't get picked. Now you're dating and you're sleeping around, hoping that the punani will help you get picked, and it doesn't. That's not how you get picked whatsoever. And during this time, none of you have ever learned how to be married. You don't even prepare yourself to be married. You don't even present yourself to be married. I bet if you get 50 women in a room and ask them, have you ever prepared yourself to be married? The majority, I bet at least 35 of them will say, absolutely not. No, because you don't know how to be married. You don't know what comes with being married. And the same with the men. But nonetheless, the men control marriage. I'm just saying, ladies, if you have a niece, if you have a little cousin, somebody has somebody who's in high school right now, middle school or whatever, you should be talking to them about what they're going to look for in the man that they want to marry. This should be a constant conversation all the way up until they find them. This way, all this sleeping around and all this, or you're going to call me a hoe if I sleep with John today and, Jack tomorrow. And no, there's not going to be any of that. You know what I'm saying? That person is going to be in more control of their hormones and their good senses. And it's a good chance that they're going to be able to present themselves to someone who is of like mind. And the chances of them actually being married and having a family is going to go through the roof. Most of us, we were not prepared. Most of the young females out here are off the chain. They're just doing whatever because their parents didn't talk to them about being married. They didn't. Hold on, I'll read your comments, then I gotta look at Facebook for a minute. Okay, women do not want, right. Yes, the father would give his daughter away. Yeah, back in the day. Nowadays, a lot of the families don't know who their father is. This is true. Most say they don't need a man. Yeah, women, this whole thing of you not needing a man came from feminism, came from the control of the radio, came from Planned Parenthood. That's where a lot of that came from. You not needing a man, and then once they hit the radio, all you females was running around talking about you didn't need a man, especially if you couldn't get a good one. If your body is being used up by all these men you've been messing around with, then you're talking about, I don't need a man. Well, dude, your choice of men are terrible. And you wanted to turn up, and you did. And you did this for years. And finally, it caught up with you. And when it did, what time are you available to look? And when it caught up with you, you're disappointed. You're disappointed at the results. Now you can't get no man. Or some young thing came and snatched away the one guy that you were looking at. The one guy that might have took you seriously, some young thing came out of nowhere, just as dumb as you want to be. Or not dumb, stupid, meaning unaware. Dumb and stupid is two different things. Dumb you're born with. You can't help. Stupid is a choice. And then there's ignorant. Okay, so if you're being stupid, putting your hand on over the fire, that's stupid. Ignorant is I don't know if the fire will burn me or not. So so I guess the choice of word would be ignorant. She's just unaware. But nonetheless, she looks like the freaking just beautiful, just hot, perky tits and everything, just beautiful. I mean, you can't help but to look at her. You know what I mean? And then she comes along, and then he's like, you know what? I'll take ignorant over here. Why? Because he can mold her. She doesn't have as many miles on her. She's not going to complain about too much. She's just happy. And you can't tell me you can't find those girls because you can. Walk in the Hooters. Walk in the Hooters. You'll find some 18 and 19-year-old in there just as bubbly as they want to be because they haven't been scarred. You know what I'm saying? And because and they don't have all of this spiritual baggage that a lot of women have who sleep around. This is why sleeping around is a terrible idea. It gives you emotional and spiritual baggage that once it gets in you, listen, if you're not a prayer warrior or you don't have somebody who's praying over and or for you and telling you to get the hell out of that lifestyle, listen, those spirits are still in you. I don't care how old you are. Those spirits are still there, and they're going to torment you until you die. And then they're going to jump into somebody, probably in your family. That's what spirits do. They jump from family to family. They jump from family member to family member. They go from body to body. That's how they survive. They need a body to dwell into. So when you're, opening your legs for, some stranger you met at the club one night, okay, fine. All of his spirits now just jumped on you. Okay? So you go out to the club the next weekend and meet somebody else. Oh, he's sexy too. And, you guys go out to the parking lot, do the nasty boom. You're thinking, oh, that's over and done with. Guess what? His spirits just jumped in you too. Now listen, I know one woman. Now, I always use examples that I know of because I dealt with a lot of women. I know I may not look like it, but I've dealt with a lot of women. I just dealt with a lot of crazies. I know one young lady, right? She was just, for one, she's beautiful. Monica. Oh my God. Beautiful Monica. Anyway, so Monica one day told me, she's like, I go to sex clubs. And I'm like, why? She's like, the guy I'm dating goes there and, we do what we do. She's like, first, I didn't want to do anything. I just watched what they were doing. Because I was like, Monica at a sex club, this doesn't sound right. She's like, I just watched what they were doing. And then, some woman would come in and she would start having sex with him because this is what he did. And then she said, I didn't want no foreign penis in my mouth, so I'm not doing that. The next time I talked to her, she was like, I've been doing this, doing that, foreign penis, all that. I said, I thought you wasn't going to do that. She didn't say anything. What happened? What happened was she met a person whose spirit convinced her that it's okay to do what he's doing. Took her to the place where he does this, and she went from being a normal everyday to just all out, I'm going to bang everybody in here. Doing everything her common sense told her not to do until she was just like, I had enough. Got out of that lifestyle and married a totally different guy. I don't know if they're still married today, but Monica's beautiful and she's tall, so she has that advantage. And she's black too. She's gorgeous. But yeah, so I don't know if they're still married today, but I'm betting there's a struggle there somewhere. Like I said, the what you do in the spirit, what spirits are in you will jump onto somebody else if you have sex with them. Next thing you know, you're doing stuff that is not good for you. It's just common sense. It may sound like fun, but it's not. It may look like fun, but it's not. In some way, you're going to pay for that. And if you don't get out of that lifestyle and you die in that lifestyle, you're going to have a very short conversation with the Lord, and you are not going to like what he's going to tell you. That's just a game you don't want to play. I'm just telling you now, you don't want to play that game. You don't want to play that game. Don't lose your life like that. And you will, and some people have. If you noticed, a lot of porn stars, they commit suicide. They do. A lot of porn stars, they knock themselves off because your body's not made for that. A lot of them, they go nuts. They really go insane. And it's just like, yeah, that's because, listen, and the Bible talks about the spirits that are going to and fro inside of your body into hell, inside of your body back to hell. And it talks about how one spirit will take 7 other spirits with it and come right back into your body. So now you're you're drinking, you're smoking, you're cursing, you're fighting, you're angry, you're having sex with anyone, you're completely ignoring anybody who's giving you good advice. You ever meet a teenager who's promiscuous? You ever watch the Maury show and the teenager is, I'm 14 and I'm doing what I want. I have sex when I want. I have blah, 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 and smoking and drinking and getting. That's not fake. That really happens. Or I give you an even worse example. If you ever watch Soft White Underbelly on YouTube, you will have a prime example of what I'm talking about. Some of the worst cases of what I'm talking about. That interview with Michelle Obama and Dwyane Wade's son was just off the. I didn't even see it because my whole reaction to Dwyane Wade was how like I couldn't imagine. For one, I'm not rich. Not rich, I'm not famous, I don't have millions of dollars, and I'm not in the spotlight. That's what it really is. It's the spotlight. He gets his money from people who control pretty much this world. You know what I'm saying? That's who he gets his money from. If he wants to keep up his lifestyle, even though he's not in basketball anymore, he has to play this type of role. He has to feed into it because they control his paycheck. If you think I'm kidding, look at Delonte West. Look at Delonte West. Look at him. He's a prime example of what happens when you take one misstep. Okay? There's a lot of basketball players that have done that. They've lost everything. And so D. Wade, hey, thank you very What? I haven't seen you. I was just thinking about you not too long ago. How you doing? I haven't seen you in a minute. I need to go by your channel and listen to some of your music. You always have good music on there. But if you look at, yes, happy Saturday to you too. But if you look at Delonte West, he's a good example of how people can fall down. Lamar Odom, how he fell down. A lot of basketball players and just people in sports fall down because these people are in the public eye, and the public eye controls them. So they have paymasters, even though they're not playing sports anymore. They can't say and do what they want like I can because nobody really cares what I say. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, that's because I don't get my paycheck from them. So when you're looking at D. Wade's case, D. Wade is going along with the status quo. Homosexuality is accepted and it is okay. Transgender is accepted and it is okay. Live your truth is the words that they use. It's the reason why I don't watch Netflix anymore, because Netflix put it in every show that they can put it in. And then finally that Cutie show came on. And when I see the preview of Cuties, I was like, I'm done with Netflix unless they take that off of there. And I ain't been back to Netflix since because I don't live in an alternative lifestyle, so I don't need that in my house. Nonetheless, D. Wade he's being controlled. So him going on the Ellen DeGeneres show and talking about, how he's going to cut his son's genitals. You're going to allow your son to be castrated. Let's just think about that. D. Wade's son is not even at the age of like having children, you know what I'm saying, or having a family or anything like that. He's not even close to that. Like, what is he, 13, 14? So, like I said, the status quo where we are now, which is pretty much 18, is when, we send our children out into the world. But around 21, 22 is when they start looking for mates. In between 21 and 27 or somewhere around there, right, is when they start looking for mates to be married. And then around 30 is when most women black women are actually hoping to be married. If you ask a group of black women when they want to be married, they were saying, I was hoping to be married, or I'm hoping to be married by the age of 30. 30 is their benchmark. So women control society. So if you look at our society, you would think just with those statistics, okay, so at the age of 30 is when most people are getting married up in the black neighborhood. Okay, that's somewhat digestible. This is a child. This is a 12, 13-year-old child. You're going to cut his genitals off, which means you cannot replace them except with some kind of crazy surgery, but I'm sure it will not work correctly after you do this. And then you're going to, when you cut it off, you're going to give him a fake genital. However, his body is not made to reproduce like a female's. In other words, you're going to diminish his chance at any natural marriage and any natural way of having children. In third, you're going to cut off your own ability to have grandchildren. That's what you got on the Ellen DeGeneres show it was talking about. I don't want any grandchildren. Are you out of your mind? You're here to spread your seed. And once you have a male, that's what the male does, spread their seed. You're cutting that off at the age of 13 or 12 or whatever he is. I mean, that's just lunacy to me. Like, how can you even make that choice? Or allow him to make that choice? Right? I just didn't get that whole thing. And I'm like, let the child grow. Let them hit adulthood. Get out there and see what the world's like. And if that child wants to make that decision, then that is between that child and God. There's nothing to do with you. That's what that child wanted to do. There's nothing you can do about that. That child is now an adult according to American standards and laws, according to European standards and laws. That's how I think he should have handled that. But nonetheless, he works for the public, and so you got what you got. So nonetheless, women, so this is the reason why I'm saying it is not okay for a woman to sleep around. You're going to catch too many feelings, and by the time you look up, the chances of you actually having successful marriage, successful pregnancies, and all that is going to be sharply diminished once you get up in age. And that's just the way it goes. Just because Dwyane Wade is not. No, he's not. I want to tell you something. I mean, if it came to advice out of that family, I would listen to his wife way faster than I would listen to Dwyane Wade. I've always thought Gabrielle Union was a very sharp woman. She's a good-looking woman, but I've always thought her answers were very pragmatic, to the point, and just like a basic homegirl would talk to you. She doesn't talk like she has the upper echelon political view of Hollywood, like Tom Hanks would answer you. She just doesn't talk like that. She talks like a regular person. Well, I don't know if he was I couldn't say that D Wade is a beta male. I can't say that. He's in the top 5% of earners in the world. He is married to a beautiful woman. He has a whole family, brand new child. So, I mean, he's holding it down. I can't say that he is a beta male. I can only say that him, just like Terry Crew, they're being controlled. And Terry Crew actually talked about the people who were controlling him when they came up and grabbed him by the balls. Some man did that to him. So these people are being controlled. So I can't say that they're beta males, or I can't take any masculinity away from them. They're just, they're under scrutiny of a higher power than normal people are, because everything that they have can be taken away in an instant. Look at what happened to Michael Vick. I mean, they castrated Michael Vick, financially over dogs. Dogs. Michael Vick was on top of the world. They built a whole stadium in Atlanta for Michael Vick just so he can come there and play. I mean, he was making so much money, it's ridiculous. And his brother would have done the same thing, but he couldn't stay out of trouble. And then they cut him down over dogs. Like, I don't know a lot about dog fighting, but I'm going to assume that dog fighting has been around for a very, very long time. And it still is around. People love competition. There's always going to be, I bet there's somewhere in each city where there's dog fighting going on right now. Right now. It may be underground. I don't know, but there's probably dog fighting somewhere. Where it's at, I don't know, because one, I don't have a dog. Two, I would not go to see dog fighting. It's just something that does absolutely nothing for me. But I know that they've been doing it for the longest time simply because the way they breed dogs. There are dogs that are bred to actually fight with lions. Everywhere in history, you're going to find where there has been a dog near somebody who is royalty. Those dogs weren't there for show. Those dogs were there to protect. And that's it, and that's all. And if you look at anywhere in the history books, you're going to find out that there's a Dalmatian somewhere. Because that dog is used to protect humans. And in order for that dog to do that, you have to have it fight. You just do. You train it how to fight, and then you do like any human. You train a human how to fight. They go out, they fight, they win, they lose. You train a dog how to fight, that dog goes out and fights. It doesn't just bite on, the side of your freaking couch and stuff. No, you send that dog out, that dog fights. Now, today that's animal cruelty. Okay, fine, I'll give you that. But nonetheless, the fight is still in these dogs. Okay, it's still there. I mean, you're saying you can't do this. I'm okay with that because I hate animal cruelty. But nonetheless, the fight is still in the average, German Shepherd, a Malinois, Pit Bulls, Huskies. Yeah, the fight is still in these dogs. Try it. See what happens. Let another dog come anywhere near them and see what happens. It's on. So I just don't think Michael Vick should have been cut down like that. I just don't. That's just my opinion. Yeah, so promiscuity for anyone is not advised. Take it from somebody who used to be promiscuous. And here's another thing I found out. Like, okay, so all the time. Okay, so one day I decided to test the females that I was dating. So I called 4 of them over to the crib, one by one, just to see what I could do with them. And had them waiting outside. And they knew that the other person was upstairs. I did that 2 days in a row, and then I heard the voice of God that says, you better not do that again. That was it. I've never done it again. I've never done it again. And I knew if I even tried to do it again, then I was looking at something that was going to hurt me more than it helped. The ones who started what? What happened to the ones who started what? So I'm just telling you this. Don't be promiscuous. And if you have any family members that are, any of your kids, boy or girls, and they're coming up on 10 years old, start talking to them about marriage. Start making them presentable. Males too. Because if a man doesn't have his stuff together, he's not marrying anyone. And he may want to be married. Look, I used to want to be married, but I was broke. I couldn't marry nobody. Oh, dog fighting? what happened to the ones who started dog fighting? Oh, I don't. You mean in the scenarios that I was given? I was just saying that most dogs nowadays still have the fight in them, and they're going to continue to have the fight in them. I don't know anything about dog fighting. I've never been to one. I just know that it always existed. And like I said, I wouldn't go to one. It's something that doesn't interest me. However, what does interest me about canines is their strength. I've always enjoyed displays of canine speed, their strength, just their abilities. I was always into that. Just with any animal, actually. But when it comes to dogs, I'm like, okay, well, how strong is their jaw bite? How fast is it? How smart is it? We're finding out more and more that canines are way more smarter than we ever thought they were. Yeah. So I do enjoy that. I'm thinking about getting a German Shepherd because I really like German Shepherds. Always have. I think one day I might get a German Shepherd and a Collie. Yeah, it's either a Collie or a Lab, but I'm thinking more towards the Collie. Collie is how I got this ring around my eye. She bit me on an accident. I was petting her when I was 8. And I leaned in and she saw a squirrel and, barked and crushed my eye. Almost took my eye out. But I never blamed her. His name was Rex. Never blamed her for it, but my eye has been scarred ever since. But I don't have no disdain towards canines. I actually like them. So eventually I'll get one. But yeah, if you have any sons and daughters, nieces and nephews, start asking them about marriage. Put it in their mind. So they can, keep the family going the right way so they don't have children out of wedlock. Anything to prevent children out of wedlock is a hard thing. It's hard on the child. Maybe you may not care, but it's very, very hard on the child. Dog fighting started years ago in the 1700s. Non-blacks is what I'm saying. It started way before the 1700s. Dogfighting was a thing way back in the Egyptian era. Yeah, that's how a lot of okay, so when the conquistadors conquered the Taino Indians, yeah, love German Shepherds. When the conquistadors conquered the Taino Indians, they used dogs as well over there to eat people. Yeah, they used dogs to eat people. So dogs have been vicious. They've been used to do a lot of damage simply because their speed, strength, and once they get a hold of you, it's very hard for them to get them off of you. You know what I'm saying? And a majority of large bred dogs were actually made to take down animals that are far larger than us. I mean, for a Rottweiler to take one of us down, that's not hard for a Rottweiler to do. One bite, we're going down. One. And then drag you to the ground. So if there's a group of them, it's lights out. You're facing 2 Rottweilers and you're not standing on top of something that's very tall, then you are about to be lunch. Oh, yeah. They were the warriors. Yeah. Yeah, they made the dogs eat people. Bull mastiffs and stuff like that, 100% they ate people. Look, the conquistadors, what they did to the Taino Indians, or the so-called Mexicans, when they conquered them, they would throw their bodies into these mass graves. And the thing about it was all the people inside of there were not dead. They were all severely injured, though. So what the conquistadors used to do is when they got tired of hearing them yelling and screaming in pain, they would do a lot of heinous things to them, but they would take a large block of wood and pound it down your throat. So they would do stuff like that. And when they wanted to feed their canines, they would just tell their canines to go in there and have a ball. So their canines would just go and start eating people, sometimes alive. So yes, dogs were bred to eat people. People were often on the menu of canines. No, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Dog fighting is actually. No, what? No. Oh, the answer is no? Yeah, the answer is no. Yeah, it's not okay for women to sleep around. But you know what? Listen, it's all of our fault. Because we're not teaching our daughters how to, grow up. We're not teaching. Look, you can go to any mother's house right now and say, hey, are you teaching your daughter the right thing? And she'll say, yeah. And in her mind, she is. This is a good mother. She's teaching her daughter how to be nice, how to be, a young lady, so on and so forth. Her mind, yes. Then you say, are you teaching your daughter how to be married? It's a good chance she's going to say no. Or she might say yes, but with a hesitation. She'll go, yeah, my daughter's going to be married when she grows up. And then she'll brag on all the stuff, yada, yada, yada. But when you really start getting down to the brass tacks, it's like, okay, then where's her father? Well, he's around. He comes all the time. He picks her up and blah, blah, blah. See, the fact that you're not married to her father is one of the biggest slights that there is. Because she sees you as an example. Regardless of what you teach your daughter, when your daughter gets up and sees you as a single mother or as somebody married to somebody who's not her father, she still sees a broken home. Regardless of how good that other guy is, it's still a broken home in that child's eyes. Because that person is not their father. They may be good to them, and there are a lot of great guys out there who are picking up the slack. There are a lot of great big ups to them. But nonetheless, that child still knows that you are not my father. Or you're not my dad. You're my father, but you're not my dad. You're fathering me, but you're not my dad. That little girl knows. She knows the truth. And it's a good chance she wants to know where her dad is. And if her dad is in her life, she's partially satisfied with what she can get. Her dad comes to see her, gets her presents, takes her to school, whatever. She spends, weekends with her dad, so on and so forth. But the question in her mind still exists. Why did you not marry my mother? If you think I'm wrong, wait until they get around a family that's a nucleus family. Wait until you see it. When that child's when parent teacher day comes and the mother and father of another child neighboring them show up and they're married, and then you two show up, and then there's a third guy there because he's the stepfather, because he has to show up because it's his duty to show up, but he's not the biological father. So now there's three of you. Okay, I'm just saying this is what happens. And then that daughter looks over there and she looks at the nucleus family and goes, okay, well, they're married. This is what's in her. She might not say anything. So, yeah, it is sad, but that is exactly what's going on now. So this is why you get children that start acting out. You do. They start acting out for that very reason alone, because the house is already broken. Regardless of what you give them, regardless of where you live and how much attention you pay them, the fact is you're not married to to the mother or the father. So when you ask that question, are you teaching your daughter how to be married? The answer is no. No, you're not. Because you're not married to her father. And that's a decision that you chose. You ask the father, did you want to be married to the mother? In some cases, the father might say, yes, I did. And she knew it. I'm not saying in every case because God's not angel. Listen, this is not women bashing. This is just saying women control relationships. They really do. Women control whether they want to stay in a relationship with you or not. You'll find a lot of guys out here with broken hearts simply because the woman they chose decided to be with somebody else. And that's it. So when you have that presented to you, your belly is full with his child, and then you're like, I don't want to be with you anymore. Wait, what? Marry me? Nah, I can't marry you. What? What do you mean? And then they don't get married. And then that child comes out with a broken heart. It's exactly what happens, because when that child understands that father is not in the household, that child's heart breaks. I've seen it happen to my own child. I remember the very day I broke my daughter's heart. I watched it. I was sitting right there with her mother, and she asked both of us that same question. We were in the mall in Atlanta, and we tried to explain to her why we weren't married. But I tried to marry her mother. And her mother was like, no. And I watched my daughter's heart break, and she just started crying in front of us. I'll never forget it. So I'm just saying that women control relationships. And if you want to keep watching your daughter's heart break, then keep having children out of wedlock. Keep telling the guy who you decide to give your womb to and actually bear a child with, no. Tell him no, you don't want to be married with him. Tell your nieces now, your 10-year-old nieces now, go to them and give them absolutely no instruction on how to choose a man. Don't ever have this conversation with them, ever. Just leave that conversation out of your repertoire. Just leave it out. Don't say nothing to them about it and see what happens. They'll start dragging in babies at the age of maybe 19, 20. Couple different fathers, none of them suitable for marriage. The father isn't even suitable for marriage. Had no intentions on being married. Now you have the cycle that continues. When those children grow up, the same thing happens because it's a spiritual bond. And that spirit will stay in you. It'll tell you, nope, do not marry this person. You don't want that responsibility. Boom, go out, sleep with this guy. Boom, sleep with this guy, have another child. Now you got 2 half brothers or 2 half sisters in the house. 2 half siblings. Need to comment. I've heard the logic of women leading the household. I'm just glad it was different for me. Well, yeah, see, women leading the household, we should talk about it on another day, but we'll touch on it now. Women leading the household simply comes from women being unmarried. This is unmarried mothers. Baby mamas. That's where you get women leading the household. Usually, if the guy is coming around sporadically, that guy does not lead the household. If I had 2 children by a woman, but I'm not with her, when I'm gone, who's leading the household? And you better believe she's got somebody else. There's another man running around in there, probably a few of them. But when I come there, I'm not leading the house. I'm not leading anything. I can't tell her what to do. She'll get loud if I try. It'll be a whole fight, or I won't be able to see my kids, or she'll call the police and have me arrested for the weekend. Or it's 7 days now. You go in jail, it's 7 days. It used to be the weekend. No, it's 7 days now before you see a judge. So there's that. They take away your car, your everything, and all this money. Oh, it's a whole system now. There's a whole system now to the whole baby mama. And, women were duped into believing that this was for their benefit because they got financial benefits from it. Have an abortion or you're not getting your food stamps. There can be, listen, I told you guys, when I was a janitor temporarily, I did a lot of temp jobs to keep food on the plate. I went to this one project and there was nothing but women in the projects. All of the projects had nothing but women. There were no men allowed to stay overnight. And they all had children. A whole neighborhood. I don't live far from it now. Whole neighborhood of females. So you can imagine just the tension. These are all grown women that can only see their men during the day and they're not in prison. So one day I came to work and there was hair and all kind of paraphernalia all over the place because those women were fighting each other in mass. In mass. This wasn't a one-on-one. This was a group going at it. And the results are right there in the street. This is what happens when you believe that you don't need a man. You believe that men are only there for your finances, but no, men are there for stability. They're there for guidance. They're there for protection. Hold on a second. We're there for protection. See this person. I mean, oh, let's see. Two. Men are there for protection. Wear your shield. In New York, it was get rid of the man or get rid of your food stamp. That's right. Well, that wasn't only in New York. That was everywhere. That was the system. They did their best to cut the man off of the family as much as possible and to leave all these women in disarray and unprotected. And also to slow down the production. Listen, Benjamin Franklin was talking about how he feared the reproduction of Black people. And he knew that if there wasn't some type of culling of Black people, that white people would be overwhelmed by them. So this is why you had the whole thing with AIDS and the Dutch going over there and some goofy scientists, inoculating people with what they considered to be something that was protecting them from a virus, but it was actually, started the AIDS virus. It killed 35 million people. Killed 35 million people. Of course, they didn't see that coming, but they went over there, to Africa and started doing the same thing they're doing now with the virus testing. This is why over there in South Africa, they started wrecking, everywhere that they were trying to do the COVID. They started wrecking everything because they knew what had happened in history. Historically, you did the same thing and you killed millions and millions of people, and you did the same thing that they're doing now. You blame the virus on Black people, just like the Chinese are doing right now. They're blaming the virus on Black people, and we had nothing to do with it. They blamed the AIDS virus on Black people, and we had nothing to do with it. It came from the Dutch. The Dutch also, you ever seen Hotel Rwanda? Those wars where they killed 100,000 people in 96 and then turned around a couple of years later, did the whole thing again in Rwanda, that whole war? All of those weapons that they got were funded by who? The Dutch. The Dutch are the same people who own what? The diamond mines. The diamond mines that are in Africa. De Beers, Dutch. That's why I would never wear a diamond. I would never. Well, I have a disdain for those, for just the people who done that. Not all the Dutch, because I don't know them all, but the people who did that, yeah. I have a serious disdain for those people who did that to them. But I wouldn't walk around with them. Yeah, that's why, you get all these people. Okay. Do you have it to the inside now? You get all these people who are, wearing all these chains. I don't envy any of that. You paid $100,000 for a pinky ring. I don't even wear my college ring. I graduated. I could have bought a ring and wore a big old college ring. I don't want to wear it. My diploma right here. I graduated. College degree. I don't wear it. If I was married, I would just wear a gold band. I wouldn't go out and buy my wife some big old ring that puts me $20,000 in debt. And I wouldn't marry any woman who told me to do so. Not whatsoever. She told me to spend $20,000 and put it down on a duplex. That's the woman I'm marrying. I'm like, see, now that right there, that's how you do it. Get a rental property. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll rock with a woman like that, but put it down on a ring and then complain to me each year about some goofy dates that I don't care about remembering. Listen, I don't even know when my brothers and sisters were born. I don't care about that. Any woman I've dated, it's like seriously, for at least a year or so, none of them would get in my face about Valentine's Day, Sweeties Day, Christmas. None of them. Not one of them would say a word to me about any of that stuff. None of them. Because if I'm here doing my best with you right now, then every day is your Valentine's Day. Every day is your Sweeties Day. If somebody's about to punch you in the face and then I'm stepping in the way, then happy Valentine's Day to you. That's just it, and that's all. That's just the way I think. I don't let society tell me when and how to love the person I'm supposed to love. I just don't get down like that. But yeah, so it's just some facts about the Dutch and diamonds and stuff like that, and why I don't wear it. I dress pretty much as plain as possible. But that's just me. I ain't saying you shouldn't have anything nice. Heck, you should have something nice. I got a nice truck outside. You know what I'm saying? I got an '07 Avalanche. That's my something nice. You know what I'm saying? I got a clean pair of New Balance shoes. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? That's my something nice. I also got a beat up truck. I love that thing too, because that's what gives me money. Say word, But yeah, teach your daughters how to love. Like I said, if they're 10 years old, they're old enough to understand the concept of marriage. They're old enough to absorb the information that you're telling. They're old enough to learn the statistics that are out there about the Black neighborhoods that they live in. You know what I'm saying? They're old enough to. It's just like teaching them about money. If they're 10 years old, you can teach them about money and the value of the dollar. How it's a depreciating value every year. Because inflation goes up every year, especially with this $15 an hour thing coming out. The value of the dollar is going to plummet. Teach them the value of gold, things along that line. Those things are qualities that when she does step into a relationship at 18 years old, if she has that embedded in her, like really learning and knowing about money and not just spending it on, frivolously on anything. If she has those values, those are marriageable qualities. That's what I'm saying. You teach your daughter how to be married. You teach her how to present herself, the clothes she wears, the way she, interacts with, just people, period. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is she loud and, feisty and, listen, if a child is loud and yelling all the time, something's wrong. And that energy should be redirected in some kind of other way. When I was a kid, I got into it with one of my teachers and she sat on me. I learned real quick who the boss was because her fat butt was sitting on my back. All right. I was acting out. I don't know what I wanted, but I was really, really acting out. So they redirected all that energy that I had and found out that I was good at art. And I ended up winning an art competition. You see what I mean? Like the child isn't bad. You need to find out exactly what that child's passion is. I don't believe in pagan holidays. Neither do I. You need to find out what exactly that passion is. If that little boy is, just running around crazy, put him on the track. Moses was one of those dudes. He ran everywhere. Next thing you know, they put him on the track and he won the Olympics in hurling. Put the kid on the track and let him burn himself out. Let him just run his give him a direction, and that kid will straighten up, stride right, boom. We used to go to track, this is as an adult. It's just a group of us who just love to still run. And we had a young guy come out there. He was still in high school. And we were out there doing 200 sprints and all this other stuff, just having fun, just, athletes. And this kid came out and he would run real fast, but it almost looked like he was running in place. And he told us, I can't run, but my legs are moving fast. So when we saw the way he was running, we just said, well, your stride is not off. Your stride is off. So we said, if you learn how to stride out, you'll be fast. Turns out that kid he started beating everybody. You could not beat that kid in a race once we just taught him that one lesson, which was how to stride. That kid took off like a rabbit. It's like seeing something spinning its wheels, and then finally it catches the ground, and that's literally what that kid did. You couldn't catch that kid in the 200 after that. It was lights out. So I'm saying your little girls and boys at home, they got a lot of energy. But if you learn how to direct that energy, those kids will be really, really, really successful. And I'm not a fan of giving all these kids these drugs to calm them down. I am totally not a fan of that. I'm a fan of taking these kids out into the woods, showing them what their surrounding is, what nature is, taking them to lakes and streams and doing the stuff that I used to do. That's what my parents did. That's what people who were watching over me at certain times did. They were just like, we're going hiking. And we would hike all the way to this place called Bald-Headed Hill. We were doing this when I was 12. Bald-Headed Hill it was like 5 or 6 miles away, but we could see it. They're like, we're all going to Bald-Headed Hill. Let's go. And we would all get there'd be a bunch of adults with us, and we 5, 6 miles one way, hiking to Bald-Headed Hill. That's what we did. So I'm saying crayfish and hunting and all that other stuff, streams, I still love that stuff. Trees and woods and all that, camping. I learned how to ride a horse when I was like 9. Big old horse. You know what I'm saying? I know how to ski. I'm not good at it, but I know how to ski. You know what I'm saying? Roller skating, all this. One day when I was in college, and I was roller skating, the kids that I was, 19, 20, kids in college, they were like, how is it that you can do so much stuff? And I said, well, this is what I did when I was a child. They were like, how can you roller skate, you run, you swim, shoot, I can shoot a bow and arrow. I learned how to hunt with a bow and arrow when I was 14, and I made the bow and arrow. Like literally. Yeah, yeah. Dead Man's Hill. I'm saying, and that's what I would do. And I mean, in the cold, we were out. Listen, coming inside was punishment to us. You tell a kid to go outside now, and they're pissed. Coming inside was punishment. When those lights came on, we was upset. Punished. That was punishment to us. We played football in the snow on the concrete, tackle football. Like we did it all. So yeah, that's what I would do. I mean, you got some children that got all this energy. Take those kids to the woods, bunch of adults, family, all family members. Go out there for a weekend. Take them camping. Teach them how to, how to get honey out of a tree, how to bake a potato, how to make a fire. I learned all that stuff. I make fires and just to teach them about this, get them out of the city, out of the crazy life of all this stuff that's manufactured, and take them into the natural surroundings and let them learn. We made our own fishing. Yeah, you make your own fishing poles, cooking. Yeah. There it is. Eating honeysuckle right off the tree. We was getting them honeysuckles in. Turns out honeysuckle's good for you. We had no idea. All we knew is honeysuckle grew on the fence every summer, and we knew it was summer when the honeysuckles came out. And you'd just see a bunch of kids sitting there eating honeysuckles off the tree. Yeah, sapphire tea, we made that too. You have to, now the thing about the sapphire tree, I think the sapphire looks like poison oak. So you had to find out exactly which one was poison oak. And the way we found out is because there was some white person who was allergic to poison oak or poison ivy. And when we saw the person get it, we're just like, you was in the poison ivy. Every year, somebody would come out with poison ivy, and it was usually a white person. See what I mean? Yeah, the white people are allergic to poison oak and poison ivy. And those look like the sapphire. And the thing about, because you're from Pittsburgh, and I'm from Pittsburgh. So the thing about the sapphire is you can smell it and tell what it is. Because it smells like mint. So all you have to do is take the leaf, clean it off a little bit, throw it right in the water, you can drink it. It's just good stuff. You know where Bald-Headed Hill is, Shawana? Shawana from my hood. You would have to go out to you probably wouldn't know where it is. You ever heard of Holy Family Institute? Okay, yeah, Shawana knows where Bald-Headed Hill is. So we would walk from Holy Family Institute to Bald-Headed Hill. We would just get up and go. Camping every year, so you know what it is. We had fun growing up. The boys we made go-karts. Yeah, out of old wood milk carts, right? We made go-karts. Yeah, shopping. So, Holy Family Institute. So I'm saying, get your kids out of the house. See, the coronavirus got a lot of restrictions, but there's not one restriction on going out into the woods. And I know it means like something. And another thing is, we got to cut it out with the creepiness. We got to cut it out when the guy suggested something that's creepy, especially when it comes to relationship with children. The guy says something about doing anything with children, you all of a sudden, this creepy. Like, look, the Me Too movement helped that along. It ain't made that whole thing up. Men love their kids. There are men who love other kids. They love them. They want to protect them. They want them to grow up to be fine. They have no ill intent. And when you stop men from being able to teach children, you're going to get a whole lot of feminine boys. Okay? And that's not what you want, because that's not going to help your society continue. All right? A man and a man cannot create a child. A woman and a woman cannot create a child. So cut it out. All right? Especially with these teachers out here doing all kind of crazy stuff. These female teachers going ballistic. That's because of Me Too movement too. Let these women get away with all kind of stuff, and look at what's happening. Sorry about the misspelling. Girl, I don't care nothing about no misspelling. My kids camp every year. Also, it was free. Camping is free. Say, kids, go out. That's what we did. It gives you a hell of an immune system too. It gives you such a, you know what it does? It turns you back into what you really are, which is an Indian. That's what you are. You're an Indian. That's what it turns you back into. Yeah, there it is. It turns you right back into who you are. Whether you're Chippewa, Sioux, Taino, wherever you come from, it turns you right back into an Indian. Listen, the American Indian used nature. That's why you didn't see a bunch of big cities, because everything around them meant something. Everything that they did was an investment. Everything was an investment when it came to life. Everything. They wasted nothing. When they killed an animal, they thanked God for the animal. And they used everything on that doggone animal, every piece of the animal. And they only killed what they needed. This is why when settlers came here, they thought the land was, for one, uninhabited, and they thought the Indians were ignorant, and they also thought that this whole land is like it can all be conquered, and we can set up industry here and all this, which is what they did. But they didn't realize that the people who lived here they were well aware of their surroundings, and they were living in tune with their natural surroundings. Closest, I feel good. Yeah, right. My parents took us down south. Yep, every year in different music. Yep, there it is. So it turned you back into an Indian. And you can't say nothing about the Indians, because they were strong, they were smart, they were fast. You had Indians keeping up. Listen, when Indians hunted, they hunted on foot, okay? Of course, they hunted on horseback too, but when they came into the woods, they hunted on foot. When they shot a deer, they had to track the deer. Think about that. That deer can run at 40 miles an hour. Let's just take a regular white-tailed deer. That white-tailed deer can get up to 40 miles an hour straight away and through the woods. You have to track this thing until it dies. Just drink that in. On foot in the winter. Yeah. In the winter. You have to track this. If you don't catch it, something else eats it. And you go hungry. And your family. This is you. Backing it. In the cold. Because if you don't eat, your family don't eat. So that's you and the rest of the warriors. The females are at home getting ready to cook what you catch. Taking care of them bambinos. That's what the females are doing. Keeping the house straight. And you'd be foolish if you think they don't know how to use an axe or a bow and arrow. because other tribes know when other tribes are hunting. So if the men are gone and other tribes come into, no, the women learn how to fight too. But they're at home handling things. I'm just saying it just turns you into an Indian. Even if you're a European, it still turns you into what you were. Yeah, Six Flags. I'm gonna hit Shawana with it. Kennywood Park. I'm gonna hit Shawana with it. Kennywood Park. What you know about Kennywood, Shawana? Yeah, you would hunt. He might not make it back. Who your significant other? Yeah, he probably got bad knees by now. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, that's the way that they lived. That's why you don't see any fat people back then. I talked about this yesterday. I don't see any fat people. Yeah. Yeah, you don't see no fat people back in the day. All of them are skinny. You weren't allowed to be fat. It was how you couldn't be fat because you were either fighting or hunting or screwing. You were prepared to do one or the other. That was your day. You're gonna fight, hunt, or screw. Those were your activities. And that's what you did. Yeah, milking them cows. I'm just saying, you guys, teach your daughters. Okay, so I was running yesterday. I was trying to run yesterday, right? So, I got about maybe 100 feet where I run up and down because, these old knees, they ain't having it. So these little girls were outside, I don't know what their ages is, but I'm guessing 12 to 14. Two of them, and then they were pushing one little girl. She was probably 3, and the other one might have been, 5, and they were in the stroller. And, they're out there doing whatever they're doing. I didn't care. But, when I ran in their direction, like past their house, I had noticed the little 12-year-old started running beside me, but she was still on the sidewalk. She was looking at me around like, like kids want to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's some see what we did back in the day. If somebody came outside, we were always outside. But if somebody came outside, even as an adult or a child, and they started competing with the children, you would have 100 kids all of a sudden be in an organized competition immediately. And that competition would last for hours. You're trying to figure out whether it's basketball, whether it's just running down the street, trying to figure out who the fastest is, whether it's football. Immediately, that little girl reminded me of what used to happen in my neighborhood when we would come outside, especially if an adult was in it. We had to be a part of that. If somebody's dad was outside and he was trying to show how to do something, we was on him. We was out there like, yeah, what's up? We had this guy named Doug Williams. I swear that was his name. Big dude. Full-grown adult, big dude, and what he used to do is we loved him. Oh my God, we loved him. Doug was great because he was so big. He is a grown man, and he used to always kick it with the guys, the 14 and up to 16. He used to kick it with us and always train us to get muscles. So we would go over to his house. He'd come out in the hallway, lives in projects, and he would bring his weight set out in the hallway, and we'd all be there, trying to lift weights and stuff, trying to get big, because this dude was like, oh my God, he was big. And he'd be like, you don't know how to do no, that's how he talked. You don't know how to do no push, get out and do some push-ups, and we'd be over there in the dirty hallway on the 5th floor, Just until we ran out of energy. Doug was great. We get out there on the basketball court, he'd kick our ass in basketball. But it's the fact that there was a grown man out there teaching us how to be men. And we love that. And then somebody came and killed him. We know who killed him, but he's just a great dude. Even my stepdad would come out and run with us. This dude was quick, you know. Yes, when the adults came out, it was on. Because the immediately you're thinking, one, there's somebody there to protect you. And there's always some kid who don't like some other kid. These adults are not going to let fights start happening. They're going to break them up. So for the scared or the shy kid, it was a chance to get out there to show your stuff. Because you might not be an alpha in your age group, or, you know, there might be an older kid picking on you. And that always happened. So when you have this large person out there to help you, you were like, yeah, I'm going outside to play now. So you would go outside and play without fear of getting beat up, because as soon as they come at you, these adults would come at them and be like, I'm telling your mother, I'm telling your dad, whatever, get out of here with that. That's not what we're doing. We're doing this. And they would protect you. So that's one thing. Two, they always gave you somebody to look up to. I don't care if it's a woman. My mother used to play softball with us, run the bases and everything. Crack the thing, crack. My mom was out there like, what's good? What's up? Was out there cracking the softball on it. God, hitting the bases and cover. He's like, I'm just trying to tell you, you got real. She used to be like, let's go to Frick Park. My mom used to be like, let's go to Frick Park and throw the frisbee. And we'd be out there throwing the frisbee, and she would actually make a whole picnic basket for us. Whole picnic basket. She'd be out there in a little summer dress with her little thing hat on, and the wind blowing her hat. She'd be holding her hat and throwing the frisbee. She loved that type of stuff. And we thought it was corny. But then we was like, you know what, this is actually kind of cool. We'd all be out there throwing the frisbee, and we'd have a picnic. We are poor as hell. I mean, we are poor as hell. But that picnic made us feel like it just made us, it was different. It was different. And she would do that every summer. She'd be like, let's go on a picnic. We'd be like, we don't really want to go on a picnic. But once we got there, we didn't want to go home. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's in your hood, Shawana. Frick Park is not far from you. It's probably in walking distance from you. Yeah, we go right down there to Frick Park and just throw the frisbee. So we had a good time. I'm just saying, get your kids, get your nieces, get your nephews. Turn the TV off. Turn off the yeah. There it is. Teach them baseball. Yeah, get your kids, man. Take them out to the park. Take them out to the woods, though, man. Take them out to just a place where it's organized already. There's a lot of camping places that are organized. Yeah, you live right around the corner from Frick Park, don't you? Yeah, see, I was gonna come down there and take you to the park, but I don't want to get beat up by your dude, so I'm not having that. I really was gonna take you. I'm gonna tell you where we was gonna go. I was gonna take you. I'm gonna tell you where we was gonna go. Before I found out that it was closed, I was gonna take you to Frick Park, and I was gonna take you to Originals. We was gonna hang out on the wall down at Pit and eat, and we was gonna hang out down at Pit and kick it and eat some Originals. Yeah, see, that's good living right there. On a day like this, boy, hanging out, man, it's right in Oakland. Pitt is right in Oakland. It's the main university right in Oakland. Everybody's there. It's just a beautiful scene. You know, old folks, young folks, college students. Yeah, okay. Well, if you still want to, I only live 2 hours from you. You know, but everybody's there. You got all your little restaurants there, your little McDonald's. You got your artists there. I mean, you just got everything right there on that wall. It's just right there, and it's like the hood, but it is the best part of the hood. And I mean, you could just have a really good time just chilling right there on the wall, eat some originals if they open originals back up. But if they don't, you can grab some McDonald's. But it's just a great place to hang out and just be. But like I said, take your kids. Like now, being out as a little chill out is good to take your kids camping. Because you don't want it to be real hot when you take your kids camping. You want it to be around, the day to be around maybe 60, 65 degrees, in between that. At night, maybe about 40 degrees, 45. You want to get out of your tent. If you're going to make a tent, or if not, you're just going to do the sleeping bag thing, nice sleeping bag. You want your kid to roll out of your sleeping bag and there like be a little bit of frost on the sleeping bag. Yeah, that's what that is. That's what you want. Yeah, you want your kid to wake up and there be a little, you know what I'm saying? Be a little frost on the sleeping bag. You see a little dude dripping down. That's the time it is. Yeah. Oh, tent, okay, rocking with the tent. But you know what I'm saying? Tent or sleeping bag for me, it really didn't matter. Because when I get into the sleeping bag, I zip the whole thing up. I was like, ain't no spiders coming up in this piece. You know how the daddy long-leggers, you thought daddy long-leggers were spiders, turned out they're just insects, they're not spiders. Yeah, you can have fun all day on the wall. She know what I'm talking about, all day. Like you could be a whole full grown adult on the wall by yourself and just enjoy the sight. Because right where Pitt is, there's also like this huge ground. Like if you're at Originals and then you go and then there's Pitt, right off to the side, like a block away, there's these huge grounds where people just come out and they set up all kind of activities. Because I've done a promotion right there before. You know, when I used to do promotions and marketing. So we set up right outside of Pitt, which is right there, and then there's the wall, and there's everything. So the wall is so awesome, but it's just so simple. It's just a good place to hang out. I took my sister down there. When my sister was a kid, I was like, come on, I'm going to take you down on the wall and hang out. We get something to eat. We just be sitting there chilling out with the kids, you know what I'm saying, watching the college students go by, looking at the festival. So it's just a real chill place to be. Yeah. Yeah, well, you let me know when you're ready, because, I just came back from Memphis seeing my dad, but I've been thinking about coming back to Pittsburgh. I actually been thinking about moving back to Pittsburgh, but it's so crazy. But I miss parts of Pittsburgh. I do. Yeah, I miss parts of Pittsburgh. I had some good times there, but I've been broke most of my life, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing a little better now. I ain't, flat broke. That's what makes life hard. But I found a lot of ways to have fun, even though I was flat broke. You know what I mean? But so yeah, I've been thinking about coming to Pittsburgh because I know I can still hustle in Pittsburgh. The same hustle I do now, I can do there, which is appliances. Yeah, I can do the same hustle there that I do here. Flipping appliances. That's why you keep hearing my thing go bing, bing, bing. That's people asking me about my appliances. So I buy them, clean them up, flip them. So I can do the same thing in Pittsburgh, and just plus I can do so much more in Pittsburgh. I used to do marketing and promotions. I love doing marketing and promotions in Pittsburgh because there's always a job to do in Pittsburgh, and you don't have to be tied down to like a corporate job. I go corporate too if I want to, but probably not. But you can always do some marketing and promotions in Pittsburgh because it's just so big. I mean, if you're not out in Monongahela, or if you're not out in, if you're in Allegheny County, next thing you know, if you have marketing promotion and it takes you way out by Beaver County, you can just boom, half an hour one way, boom, you're in Beaver Falls. You know what I'm saying? And you can do so many promotions out there. Next thing you know, you got to go to Aliquippa. Aliquippa's still in Beaver Falls. Go to Quiptown, boom. Next thing you know, you got to go to Monroeville, back down towards the mall, boom. 40 minutes one way, you're sitting in Monroeville. You know, and then you got to go to Swissvale. All these places, you find a lot of promotions and marketing because they're all high targeted areas. You know, Swissvale has a lot of people, and if you don't know, there's a lot of, you know, somewhat wealthy people that live in Swissvale. And then you go down to Oakland. Once you head down to Oakland, you're going towards the, you know, Pitt University. And whatever it is, a university, there's money there somewhere. So that's what I'm saying. All these areas are high target areas of marketing and promotions because they're nice neighborhoods that live there. They got some real nice houses in Oakland. See? You got some nice target areas in Oklahoma. You see, last time I did a promotion there, so when I used to come into Pittsburgh and do promotions, I wouldn't get a hotel. I would just sleep in the back of my Tahoe. So I would go down into Oakland where those nice houses are, and I would, of course, wait until nighttime. And I just pull up and park my car like I belong there, and you know, jump in the back, and boom, that's where I slept. I had a sleeping bag. I had a laptop so I can, you know, watch my movies or whatever. And, you know, the truck is already somewhat tinted once it comes out the factory. So I would just be chilling there. And the next day I would go right back to my next job, go into McDonald's, wash up, get something to eat, boom, go right to work, sitting right there where the wall is. Across the street from there is where the promotion would be. And so anywhere that the promotion went, I would just go and just sleep in the back of my truck. Sometimes I would be, if it was near Walmart, I would just sleep in Walmart parking lot. Or if there was a hotel nearby, I would just park in the hotel like I had a room and just sleep outside my truck. Nobody's going to say anything to you. Hell, the people at Walmart want you to come and sleep in their parking lot. They said, we want you to come and sleep in our parking lot because we know you're going to come in here and buy something. Isn't that something? I was like, I'm sorry I was sleeping in your parking lot. That's like, no, that's fine. We know you're going to come in here. So I would go in there and buy the little chicken, little $5.99, and you get like 12 pieces. Oh, yeah. I economized like, oh, yeah. And then I would have my own cooler. So all I needed was ice and fill it up with bottled water. Oh, man, I was good. I was making money hand over fist. Not so much fundraising, but phone skills on point. Shoot. I was the guy like they used for teardowns. So they would use me to market, and then they would use me to teardowns. And then sometimes they would just have me drive from one state to another. I did a lot of stuff. My first promotion was with the Dodge Neon in a mall. I'm standing there handing out pamphlets. When I was skinnier, I used to be a model. I used to lightweight be into modeling. So they'd be like, why don't you just go ahead into doing this? And I was like, okay. And I started making money out of it. So, yeah, teach your kids how to camp. Take them horseback riding. Teach them how to shoot a bow and arrow. Teach them something new. Teach them something that will save their life. You know what I'm saying? How to dress a wound. I learned all that. Teach them what plants are good to eat and what are not. Go outside and you be looking at them red berries. Fool around, eat one of those and see if you have a good day. It lights out for you. But then you turn around and you look at the grapes, and you know what grapes are good and what grapes are bad. You know, or what grapes are ripe or not. Because you would have the purple, remember the purple and the red grapes? And you can tell credit card, magazines, whatever. I sell it. There you go. Yeah, there you go. And flip them. So the grapes, uh, what we would do is we would find out where the grapes are. And grapes and honeysuckles, they grow together. Honeysuckle grows almost anywhere because it's a very invasive plant. Yeah, the mulberries. So what you do is we would go out and pick grapes, and we can tell which ones are ripe and which ones weren't. Which ones are sweet, which ones weren't. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that you can just learn. Because, we were eating them. We were eating stuff that, there was some plants. I forgot what plant it was. There was a plant that we were picking, and it looked like just regular grass, but it wasn't grass. But we would pick it, and we would like suck all the juice out of it. I forgot which one it was. But we were doing some real Neanderthal stuff. we were eating we wasn't taking nothing home and cooking it. We were out there like some regular Indians eating all kind of stuff. And there'd be a whole gang of us. But we figured out what was good and what was bad. That's the moon pies. Berries. We were eating stuff and it was great. So I'm just saying, teach your kids that. And it would all grow along the fence. And the bushes, the bushes that were like, that would stick you a lot. Like, don't get trapped in those because it's a bad day for you. So there's just a lot of things that we learned out there. And I don't think families are doing that as much. You don't hear kids bragging about those things. We bragged about it. We bragged about the different species that we saw, and we bragged about the crayfish that we would catch, and then would go out and catch bluegill. Catching a bluegill was like the height of the freaking day. It really was. How to put the worm on the hook and sit there 15, 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Boom, catch yourself a bluegill or a walleye or a little smallmouth bass or whatever it was in the river. Shoot, and as a matter of fact, one day when I got older, I was 17. We had no food in the house, and I had a track meet coming up. And I was hungry, and I knew I was going to be hungry at the track meet. Can't run on an empty stomach. So I said, okay, we got no food in here. I'm going to the river. We lived, if you know where Braddock Avenue is, it's not far from the river. I don't know what river it is. But the Rankin Bridge goes over it. Is that the Rankin Bridge? It's not the Rankin Bridge. It's the, the bridge that takes you into, like you're going to Kennywood Park. I forgot what the name of that bridge was. Nonetheless, so I went down to that river, had me fishing rod, and I threw bread on the end of it. Just some stale bread that we had, boom. I dipped a little bit in the water, made it nice and doughy, because if you don't do that, that bread's going to get away from you, and the fish are going to pick around the bread, and they'll never bite the hook. So you got to make it real doughy, put it on there, boom, toss that baby in. Caught me a big old carp about that big, pulled that joker out the water, took it home, fried it, went to the track meet. And they were like, what are you eating? I'm like, a carp. I caught it, gutted it, and ate it. I'm trying to tell you. Don't play with me when I'm hungry. I ain't got time for you. I ain't got time to be cute. I'm hungry. I got time to play, Shawan. I'm hungry. I ate that carp right up. I chewed that bad boy up. Sat there and then I rammed. I think I ran the 200 or whatever. I was super slow. I watched one of the fastest kids I ever seen. Matter of fact, he was the fastest kid in the state. I watched two of the fastest kids in the states run. One of them was Mike Fewell. My grandmother used to fish with tiger worms. Yeah. I had a dream about a worm last night. This thing was huge. But yeah, just the worms that come out of the ground when it rains. Just get buckets of those. Fish love them joints. Take them down there, stick them on a hook, boom. You're going to come out with you might come out with a catfish. A lot of people, oh, catfish. I'm like, I will eat that catfish so quick if I'm hungry. I'm not playing. I will eat that joint. Like catfish are dirty and I'm like, I'm not trying to hear nothing y'all got to say right now. I was hungry. So I ate that carp, and there was just carp all over the place. It wasn't hard to catch one, and I ate that joker, and they laughed at me. But I fried that thing up. It was like, where'd you get that from? I was like, I caught it. Shoot, I was hungry. What was I supposed to do? I think I was 15, actually. I was in high school, 15 or 16. Boy, I was happy. I had it all wrapped up in aluminum foil. Went out there and ran my race because I love track. I love to run. So I wasn't going to miss that track meet. It was at night, too. I was not missing that. I wasn't missing that for the world. They had a lot of superstars out there, too. Man, they put on a show. I was not missing that. Yeah, it was good stuff. So yeah, you let me know because I'm hoping to come to Pittsburgh probably in about 2 weeks because I want to go down to Point. So if you want to roll down there, we can go down to the Point. Shawana, I can meet you down there. I don't know where I'm going to stay, though. I don't know what part of town. Yeah, I don't know. What'd you say, Ray Supreme? You ever had tilapia? Of course. Tilapia is good. It's good. You ever had orange roughy? Yeah, we had to serve that one day. It was interesting taste. Yeah, tilapia is good, man. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Yeah, so I want to go down to the Point, Shawana. So if you want to go down there, that's cool. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when the day that I'm coming into town. And if you're available, that's cool. And I'll stay for a weekend. I'll probably grab a hotel at, I don't know. I'm not getting one downtown. It's just too expensive. It's just unnecessarily expensive. I'll get one like 10 minutes out of the city. They're reasonable. And do that. Let me know. I'm here. Yeah, it'll probably be in about 2 weeks. So, because I don't really have anything coming up right now. I'm not really bound by anything. That's the best thing about being an entrepreneur. I'm not bound by any time constraint. I could come now if I want to. I just, I'm just chill. So about 2 weeks, I'll probably come down there. Maybe next week. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Depends on the weather. If it's nice out, I might come down there next week. If you want to, hang out. And yeah, so where I plan on going is I plan on going downtown to the Point. Well, what I wanted to do was see if there was a festival already starting. That's kind of my hesitation. So I might actually have to come back to Pittsburgh in June because I know they have a lot of festivals down at the Point, and I want to go to one. So, but yeah, just to come and hang out with you, I might come either next weekend or the weekend after that. You have my number, so use it and communicate with me. You guys have a great day. Peace. You too. So I gave it to you on Facebook. So there's that. But yes, I want to go down to the point, down to Three Rivers. And for those of you who are not from Pittsburgh, there's a place where three rivers actually join together. Do not swim in that water; you will die. Uh, but very heavy, heavy, heavy currents, undercurrents, a lot of undercurrents because all those three rivers come together, and it's called the point. And a lot of people go down there to just hang out because the city keeps a manicured lawn down there, lots and lots and lots of space where you can, walk your dog, play with the kids, the family, joggers, people dancing. Just there's a lot going on pretty much all year round. There's somebody out there doing something. And what we used to do, my stepdad, he used to take us down to the point to fish during the middle of the winter. So we'd be down there in the freezing cold fishing. Yeah, I have played in the fountain. Yeah, so there's all kind of stuff to do at the point. So I want to go down there and see that again. That's a great part about Pittsburgh. Also, not too far from there is the incline. I've never been on the I've been on the incline once, I think. So the incline is basically a trolley cart that's going up the side of the hill in Pittsburgh. So you can see people going up the incline, and that's pretty cool. And there's just a lot to do downtown. So you can go down there and grab yourself something to eat, or not too far from there, like I said, is Oakland. So that's probably where I'm going to I'm gonna spend a whole day in Oakland. And if Shawana wants to come, she can. Yeah, the festival. Yeah, so I'm gonna go down to Oakland and hang on the wall one of these weekends. I'm just gonna go there. It's just I don't really have a plan. And yeah, heck, I might get my hotel in Oakland. That seems more reasonable because Oakland is central pretty much to everything that I want to see. I'm going to go to my old hometown, which is Braddock, and that's not too far from there. And where Shawana lives, I think in Wilkinsburg or Homewood, Wilkinsburg, and East Liberty, Squirrel Hill, Swissvale, all of those are pretty much within reasonable walking distance. And Braddock, so they all connect to Braddock. And then across the bridge, if you want to make that walk, you walk right into Duquesne. And then there is where Kennywood Park is. Swissvale, you're in Swissvale? So all that's there. But if you want to go to Sewickley and Monroeville, yeah, you're in Swissvale. So Swissvale is in walking distance, right into Homewood. Homewood and Wilkinsburg are right next together. East Liberty is right beside it. That's all hood. Those are all boroughs right there. There mostly black people live there. Swissvale, you'll have a lot of white people that live in Swissvale, and a lot of rich white people live in Swissvale. But there's still some brothers and sisters that live there too. And you can go right through Swissvale over the small bridge, and you'll come down the hill. You'll be right in the Rankin, and that is the hood. Rankin is the projects. As a matter of fact, it's called the Rankin Projects. And then if you keep going, you either go across the bridge into another terrible hood. But if you come down into Braddock, that's where I used to live, which is the hood. So what day you want me to come down there? You tell me. You tell me what day you want me to come down there. Because I'm coming to see you and to see, my beloved Pittsburgh. But I'm hoping to have some female company that I can kick it with and just have a good time remembering the good times. So, yeah, you tell me what day you want me to come down there where you ain't got a whole bunch of stuff to do. And I'll treat you to, some originals if it's open. If it's not open, we can still grab some lunch somewhere on me. Not a problem. You tell me what day is good for you, Shawana. Okay, no, let's actually make a date so I can be like, I was there. You know, you fronted. You know, you fronting on a brother. So let's actually make a date instead of you being like, ooh, just come whenever. And then when I get there, you be like, my brother, sister's cousin, mother's father, he wasn't feeling good. He had a toe jam and I had to go see what happened. Ooh. You know how you women do. You know how you women folk do. But I'm driving 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna be like, I don't believe your uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, grandma's dad had a toe jam whatsoever, Mr. Water. I just believe that you just playing me to the left. But that's okay. You ain't heard my little feelings. All right, so today's Saturday. Next Saturday is the 20th. Let's see if any events are happening. Events. Let's see. Dragon Force, McKees Rocks. Singers, Tony, no. Ringo Starr. Ringo is going to be there. Ringo's in be. We're going to see Ringo. Let's go see Ringo. All right, I'm trying to see what's going on. Okay, let me see. First things first. March 19th. The Craft Springs Festival, an Arts and Crafts Festival in Monroeville. What's good? What's good? Hold on, let me check my schedule, see if I'm, yeah, that's on a Friday. You ain't real. That's on a Friday. That's coming up on the 19th. I mean, what's good? You want to go to the Arts Festival with your boy? Can your boy, we can go and make some beads. We can't make no beads together. See, that's what's wrong with the world today. You can't even make beads with folks anymore. You can't even make the little fun hats. No little fun. Folk don't want to make beads and fun hats anymore. Oh, okay. All right, then. You need to leave me your number on Facebook. Because I don't want to be in town trying to hit you up on YouTube Live like, Shawak, where you at? You said you ain't go. You don't want to call nobody now? Yeah, I'm going to the Arts Festival. Yeah, leave me a number on Facebook. Oh, let me look at this again. Heck yeah. Friday the night. Yeah, that's all weekend. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm with it. That's in Monroeville. I remember going to Monroeville Mall to meet girls back when I was in high school. Used to be the thing. Yeah. All right, now, don't bring your cousins out there to be starting stuff. Who did? I'll be like, look, I don't want no smoke, all right? Get my little Chevy and be out. I'll burn rubber on somebody in a heartbeat. Oh, you want to do what? I ain't got time. I ain't got time. So hopefully none of your little friends is up in there, all right? Because I'll peel rubber on everybody. I know the mall's still there. That mall is jumping. That mall used to jump. We used to go out there to see if we could find a little snow bunny. We used to go to Swissville to do the same thing. The snow bunnies loved us in Swissville. We used to, okay, I don't want no, all I'm saying is, I just wanted to take her to make some beads, bro. I ain't mean. We was just making beads, bro. That's all we thought, bro. We was just making beads. We was making beads with funny hats. She said she wanted to make some beads, bro. That's all. That's all that's happening. Yeah, go to the festival. See if they're gonna have the big old turkey legs. Yo, why is it that they don't have the big turkey legs on sale at Kroger's or Giant Eagles? The turkey legs that you find are the small ones in the jiggle, but the ones at the festival be like this big. They be like turkey legs on steroids. Why can't we find those at the store? I've never seen those at the store. If you come, I'll get you a big old turkey leg. What are they, about $12, ain't they? And things expensive. They be like, yeah, that's $25 for that turkey leg. I'm like, what? $25 for a damn thing? Yeah, bro, that's about $25. Like, girl, you better eat the whole turkey leg. You better eat the bones and everything, girl. That $20 leg right there. You better eat all that. Damn lemonade cost, $15. Yeah, for the small cup, that's 15. You be trying to sneak one of these into the festival. You got the festival police be like, sir. Yeah, you didn't bring that in with you, did you? Shoot, no. I just saw this garbage can over here. I just need a place to put it in. Festival police be out there. Whoop, sir. That bottle right there did not come from the festival. Yeah. I can't never get a big old, man. I'll be wanting to get, I'm like, bro, wherever you got this turkey leg from, I am there. Probably at the farmer's market. So that's what's up. We going to festival. Your kids ain't gonna come down there and beat me up, is they? Wait a minute, you bringing your kids? Ain't they all adults now? Ain't they all like this, Mom? They all looking down at you, ain't they? Mom. Yeah, where you going? All your kids looking down at you now, ain't they? Mom, where you going? Don't your kids play for the Steelers? You got one that play for the Steelers, don't he? One of them looked like a linebacker. I thought he was Mean Joe Green grandson or something. I'm like, ain't that Mean Joe Green little boy? Dang if that ain't Jerome Bettis' twin. That Jerome Bettis little boy, ain't it? Damn, look at the back on that kid. Damn, pick up a whole damn car. Jerome, little boy. Damn, little boy. Dude, shoot. Yeah, so yeah, we'll go. I'll be there on the 19th. I mean, you don't show up, I'll be a little hurt in my little body, but I'm still gonna have fun at the Arts Festival. Pittsburgh Art Festival is awesome, you guys. So I am definitely going. I need a reprieve. I need some type of woo-saw. Because I've been, I've been chilling, but I've been kind of, like my neighbor is really testing me, man. I've been wanting to just, he damaged my vehicles, and I really want to beat his ass. But I'm not. I just want to. Yeah. Come on out with your boy. I'll get you a turkey leg. You know what I'm saying? And out on Friday. And then we can hit, if you still want to hang out the next day, if you ain't got a bunch of stuff to do, because I know you're important up in them parts. I'm going to go on down to Braddock during the day. Then I'll show you my hood. I'll show you where I used to chill at and play pennies, nickels, and dimes. Yeah, right there where Burt's Market used to be, down on Talbot Avenue, right where the steel mill is, right where Talbot Towers used to be. I used to play pennies, nickels, and dimes down there. Yeah, over there buying penny candy at Burt's Market. Going shopping at Food Land. That Food Land been shut down. Yeah, we can go down there. Go down there during the day. I don't want to go down there during the evening. So, go on down there Saturday, then head back out to Monroeville and hit the mall. I'll pick you up. I'll swing by and pick you up. Head down to Braddock for a minute. See what's going on down there, because I know the white folks changed a lot of stuff down there. Bell's Market. Nah, we was down at Bert's Market. Her name was Bert. Bert and Jean. Yeah. Bert and Jean. I don't even know if they're still alive. I remember Jean got into a fight with a dude named Big Ham. I mean, Gene was a big dude. Big Ham was too. Yeah. So we swing by there, but all that land is tore up. There's nothing that looks the same there. But I'll just show you where I grew up at. And then we'll swing around, come up out of there, come off of Braddock Avenue, and then we can you get to Monroeville from Duquesne if you cross the bridge, or do you have to go? I don't know which way. I'll GPS it. But yeah, we'll just head right back out to the festival. We want to go there, get some eats, whatever. Or we can head up to your neck of the woods, well, past your neck of the woods, and go to Oakland. So we can go to Oakland on Saturday and see if we can find something to eat and hang out. Kick it, find something else to do later that night. But, I know you got, stuff going on, so I'm not going to hold you too long, but I'm going to be there. I'm hoping that, oh, damn, I got to book a hotel. Damn, I got to do that now, don't I? To keep her on a and be professional about it. I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on that, Polo. I just still think it's unhealthy for a woman to do that. It's unhealthy for her. See, a lot of women think that men are interested in what they're doing and that's the importance. Look, if a man is interested in what's between your legs, but he's not making claim to you, then he has nothing to leverage with. You know what I'm saying? He has nothing to leverage with. He just doesn't. If you're casually sleeping with somebody, you have no leverage whatsoever. If the woman is sleeping with somebody else, that's up to her. However, I say it's a bad thing to do because of the spiritual connection. That's what I'm talking about. You just can't get rid of these spirits. You can't turn them off and on. I still wake up thinking about chicks that I dated 12 years ago. Heck, 20 years ago. I can still hear their voice. You know what I mean? And the truth is, I miss them. But that's because I'm not dating anyone. I'm not sleeping with anyone and or dating anyone. So yeah, you wake up thinking about girls you used to bang out. You know what I'm saying? And how fun it was. But then when I start really looking at it, I start going, there was this, for one, it was sin. For two, it was unhealthy. And a lot of bad stuff came out of it. I will be in touch tonight. I will call you. Stay safe. Thank you. It's just not the best thing for a woman to do. I say prepare herself for marriage, learn how to present herself, find a suitor, if she can, somebody to present herself to, and then go ahead, present yourself to that man. And, put some work and some thought behind it. Know how to take care of them. Cooking and cleaning is not the only thing you have to do when it comes to taking care of anyone. Heck, that's the easy part. How about a little shutting up? A whole lot of listening. All right? A whole lot of sitting still and learning. That's the hard part. When you want to speak, you got to shut your mouth because it's not your time yet. You know what I'm saying? So there's just a whole bunch of stuff that goes with it, brother. And yeah. If she's going to do that, I'd rather her keep it to herself and try to be a professional. But these goofy women are listening to a bunch of other goofy women, bunch of spinsters who no one is going to marry. And, they're out here just all in the streets and promiscuous and say, hey, woman, you can do what you want. You can flaunt your box anywhere and woohoo, run around and show us your underwear. And now underwear is too much clothing. Freaking underwear is too much. Granny panties, oh, those are too much. Look at these swimsuits that they have on. There's a patch below and there's 2 patches up top, and that's it. You can see everything on a woman. That's it, and there's a little string going up their behind. That's the outfit that they wear in public. And then they'll say, you need to respect us because we're women. Just because we dress like this doesn't mean that we want to have sex with you. No, ladies. No. It means totally different to you than what it means to us. What you're saying it means and what we think it means is 2 different things. Okay? And in the animal kingdom, once that kicks in, our sense and sensibility goes by the wayside. We think that we can get in them draws. And that is our number one modus operandi. That is called a prime directive, ladies. Like it or love it. It's better to listen and gain knowledge than to talk. Yeah, to talk all the time. Woman wants attention. Yeah. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I used to give this one woman attention like she never knew. I gave her all the attention she wanted. When she came over to my house, I cooked for her. I sang to her. I played the guitar for her. I rubbed her feet. I listened to her stories. I screwed the hell out of her. And when she cried, I listened. I did everything. And she still left. I painted beautiful artwork, gave it to her, made beautiful music, gave it to her. She took it all and threw it away in one day. She threw it all away. Just because she found somebody else to sleep with. And I said, you're going to regret that. When I saw her again, she said, yeah, I missed the attention you used to give me. I was like, yeah, because I loved you. They don't love you. They just want to have sex with you. But that's what you wanted. So I'm saying, I don't do that no more. I don't even own a guitar anymore. But I'm not doing that. I'm not ever doing that again. I will never, ever do that again. Never. Ever. There's just no way. I don't care how much she cries or what she wants. There's just so much attention I'm going to give you. And I'm going to let her know. I'm like, look, I can listen to you for a short while. We can talk, whatever. But I'm about to go and do something else. So go ahead and tell me what you're going to say now. And she might be, why are you like that? Because you ladies have taught me the value of getting the attention that you want, and it equals getting left. So I'm not going to give you all that attention. If you don't want to be here, that's fine. But at least I keep my face on my head instead of picking it up off the sidewalk where that last one left it. That's just the way I think. I don't care how pretty she is. Yeah, I'll talk to you, but I had a woman try to pretty much hit on me. And she was coming to see me. She lives here in Ohio. She was coming to see you. Yeah, I'm gonna come see you. We're gonna hang out. I'll bring my little boy and blah blah blah. And the whole time we're talking on the phone, she wanted to talk about her ex-lovers who were screwing her. She was already playing me for a simp. That was her whole conversation. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to come there, and my boyfriends, and when we used to sleep together and blah, blah, blah. It made me so mad. I flipped that conversation on her so quick. I did. And I let her know. I said, listen, I don't want to hear about your men. I don't want to hear about your son. I just, want to know when I'm going to get in them draws. This is what I'm going to do when I see you. I was just so angry that she played me. We could have had a good time. But she played me like a sucker for them jump. And I already knew it. Now, if she would have came at me and been like, hey, we can get something to eat, talk and blah, 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 and kept it casual and left all that other stuff out of it, I'd have been like, cool, I'm with it. But she was trying to play me like a whole chump, like I'm going to sit there and listen to you talk about your ex-dudes. Needless to say, she never came to see me. Because I turned it on her and I was like, no, I'm about to run right through you. I'm about to run right through you. And I said, I don't give a damn about your kid. And when she heard me say that, she was just like, oh, like this dude is upset. I'm like, yeah, I'm upset because you try to play me like a whole chump. See, this is the type of woman who, she had a nice body. But this is the type of woman who will play a good dude right in front of him and like run up and hug and kiss on the dude who used to slap her around and, and then come and introduce you to him. Oh, this is my ex-boyfriend. Just hold on a second. Hey, how you doing? Kiss him all on the lips. And then say, hey, this is my ex-boyfriend, he blah, blah, blah. And expect you to stand there and go, hey, what's going on? Hey. Instead of, picking her up by her damn neck and putting her in the nearest, like putting her in a full headlock. Hey, both of them, like, are you out of your damn mind? Like, that's the whole vibe she was giving, and I saw it coming, and I was like, no, we're not about to do nothing. I'm about to make sure that you never, ever want to come see me. As soon as I see you, I'm in on you. And that's that. She's like, no, I don't want to do. I was like, yeah, you sat here and talked about your men. How you going to talk to somebody you want to hope to date about all the dudes who used to screw you? And they were no good. That's what she did. She talked about how bad these dudes were and how much they used to just come over and knock her off. I had another woman do the same thing. She was like, yeah, I just slept with 5 guys in the last 2 days. But you want me to be nice to you? I was just like, nah. No more of that. I'm cool with you, but I'm not taking you out nowhere. I was like, nah, you're not about to do me like that. You're not about to just let 5 guys run up into you like nothing and then expect me to be the sucker dude. No. You can't get nothing from me. You can't ask me for no money. You can't nothing. You can't nothing with me. I'm cool. So that's just how, these females, man, they'll play you. So this is why I keep things cordial. I don't really worry about trying to jump in bed with nobody. I'm too tired. Let's lay down. Like recently, I went to see my dad, right? And this chick hit on me. She's 24 years old. She's like, yeah, let's get busy. She's cute too. And she wanted to get down and do the down and dirty. And I was like, I don't want to. I was like, oh man, I'm tired. I'm like, no, I'm good. I left her. She's a cute little dark skinned woman, but I was like, honey, like I had nothing. You know, I told her, I said, look, I can look at you. I got, I, I got nothing. Yeah, I was cool with just looking at her. So I was like, come here, let me. Damn, you pretty. I was cool with just looking at the chick. I should have took a picture of her. She was cute. But she was talking about, you know, it really turned me off to her. And the reason why I really left her is because she was talking about all the drugs that she does. I, I just don't, these women are crazy. She's like, yeah, you know, I smoke and drink, you know, I smoke, you know, I do cocaine. But she was thinking that I was in the same thing. I said, listen, I don't do none of the stuff you do. I don't smoke, drink, do. I said, I'm a square. I don't do coke and I'm coke. That turned me off. It turned me completely off. I was like, no, it's like, have a nice day. So you gotta watch these females because these dudes out here got these females doing all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, these girls are doing the most. And they be the cutest. They be the cutest girl, but these girls are out here getting sandblasted. These guys are just, oh. I tried to date this really beautiful chick I met in the club. Tall, dark-skinned afro. Oh my goodness. Went over to her house, you know, after talking to her. She started talking about some dude who she used to do coke with. I never came back. I don't do coke. Really, that was her conversation. Yeah, you know, last guy did it. He did coke. And I was doing it too. Oh, man. I was exhausted. I was like, damn, you are my type of girl too. She had a son. He was like 10. I was like, it's cool. She got a little boy, some helping hands around the house. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I could teach him to play some ball. I was in there. I was like, all right. No. 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 Once she mentioned coke, I already knew that I was going to get cheated on. Because she's going to run into some hood dude who likes to do coke. And she'll want me to be with her because I'm affectionate. And I'm a cool dude. I have a stable head on my shoulder. But she'll be getting ran through down at the coke house by a bunch of strangers and talking to me on the phone at the same time. And I'll be like, what's that in the background? Well, it's her, you know, with her ass in the air and 3 guys, you know, running up in her. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I already know what you're into. You know, I'm good. You can go ahead and have guys run a train on you without me being anywhere around you. Because that's what you like. If you're all coked out, then you don't know what's going on. Anybody can take advantage of you. So, no, these chicks are on some whole other stuff, bro. They really, really, if you find a good chick, it's a diamond in the rough. And I mean a good chick. You know, I was listening to this one guy, he was talking about statistics of a woman cheating. And he was saying the likelihood of a woman cheating on you is like 80%. 80%. She's going to cheat. 80. I'm like, wait, what? I hear that right? I'm like, nah, she ain't cheating on me. So I'm with you, bro. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go. And I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace.